Hi guys, I hope you're all well during the lockdown. Um, I've started this video series because I just thought it'd be really useful to give you guys something to do and focus everybody while we're all stuck at home not being able to do very much. Um, and I'm just hoping that this will help young players, just inspire them to keep going and not lose enthusiasm during this strange time. Okay, so if it helps you, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, then you can but try. So there we go. Hopefully you get some good information from this. Right. So the first session, I thought I will cover something that can include everybody, and so I thought we'd talk a bit about funk drumming. Um, Basically, the backbeat thing. Everybody's going to be playing this type of music. Later on, we'll start talking about some more specialist areas like maybe world music styles, Brazilian, Cuban, maybe some jazz stuff, bebop styles, etc. But I think that's a bit advanced, and we're going off in a certain direction. So this is aimed at beginners, intermediate, semi-pro, and hopefully you'll be able to take away some information that you find useful. Right, so funk drumming. Now, we all go on about the rudiments and how important the rudiments are, and as beginners, we're all like, yeah, yeah, but we don't really get it, okay? Um, but the rudiments, basically, we use them all the time in drumming. We don't want it to sound like you're playing a rudiment. We don't want it to think that you're um, thinking of rudiments as you play in them, but those are the kind of backbone and a really strong foundation that we do use on the kit. And one particular rudiment that you'll have heard right from day one, I'm sure, is a paradiddle. And we can use paradiddles and variations of paradiddles for funk drumming. So paradiddle stick in, for those that don't know, I've written it on a sheet and I put it on the website so you'll be able to see it down there. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. So the way I teach it, two singles, right, left, and a double, right, right, and then we kind of flip things over so it's inverted kind of. Okay, so if we start with the right hand, right, left, right, right, then we flip it over in the middle, start with the left, left, right, left, left. Okay, and what we want to do ideally is internalize this, memorize it so we don't have to think about it, because it's only then that we can start applying it onto the drum kit. If we have to think about the stick in and I'm saying play this hand here, do this, da da da, put the bass drum in, you're not going to stand a chance. So the first thing is you need to absolutely memorize that stick in. Paradiddle, really important. Okay, right. So the next thing is showing you how we can apply it onto a drum kit to make it sound a bit more like within a funk style. So paradiddle would play it on a snare drum, it would sound like this. Okay, now it's all to do with the voicing. Now voicing in drumming means what instrument we play with what hand. Okay, and this is so important no matter whatever style we're talking about, because it will make a style sound authentic and work, or completely make it sound absolutely awful. So it is really essential we get this right. So the voicing for this now, as a benchmark, as a way of just a basic introduction to it, we can use the right hand on the hi-hat, okay, and the left hand on the snare. So if we play a paradiddle like this, it's now going to be broken up, two different voices, and it will sound like this. Okay, not bad, that's good. We can hear the difference there, and we've got a bit of syncopation happening now. Um, what we want to do is emphasize the beats on the 2 and the 4. Okay, so the way I've written this exercise down on the website, I've used what we call 16th notes, okay, semiquavers. And so basically there are four main pulses, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a bar, and we'll give them numbers, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then within each pulse, okay, we have a group of 4. So we have 4 beats on this bar, 4 subdivisions on this bar, 4 subdivisions on that beat, sorry, and then 4 subdivisions on that beat. And altogether, that will add up to 16. 4, 8, 12, 16. And we've got 16 notes in a bar. And that's why we call it a 16 groove, almost like 16. So, 16 notes, semiquavers, and so it will be written down like this. And what we're going to do, we're going to basically play an accent every time we get to the number 2 and the 4. Now that's what we call the backbeat. So rather than it all being at the same level and consistent, we want to give it a bit more shape and add some dynamics, yeah? So it's going to sound more like this. We're going to keep all the notes quite quiet on the snare drum, and we're just going to pop out the 2 and the 4. We're going to add a stress or an accent on them. So 1, so can you hear what I'm doing there? I'm making the note 1 E and A, 2 really loud. Yeah? 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. So we're popping out that accent on the snare on the 2 and the 4, making it really loud, and that will give us the backbeat. And that's what people hear within the music when they want to dance. That will make people want to feel like dancing and getting in the mood. Good. So then as a starting point, we can add the bass drum onto 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm whizzing through this obviously, just because I want the video to be short. I've probably already gone on too long. But you would spend a lot of time just working on this, maybe just 2-part voicing, snare drum and hi-hat. Keep it really simple, and then when you've got that together and you feel like it's working, then we can move on to the next stage. All right. So then if we put the bass drum and crotchet beats 1, 2, 3, 4, it would sound something like this. So the count I've put on the website is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E, 4 E and a. That way we're just anchoring the rhythm, giving it a firm pulse for which to bed it down, yeah? Good, okay. Then another stage of this, to develop it even further, we could move the right hand onto the ride cymbal, yeah? So something like this. So it just adds a bit of a different tone colour. Okay. Another common thing is then to put the hi-hat on the 1, 2, 3, 4, the main beats. So this anchors the rhythm a bit more, yeah? So it sounds like this, 3 E and a 4 E and. And a 40. So what I did towards the end there, I actually put the hi-hat on quavers as well. So that's another common thing about funk drumming. We can use the hi-hat to anchor the rhythm, keep it nice and steady, and we can either do it on the crotchets or we can do it on the quaver pulse, 1 and 2. And so I would practice both those alternatives, right? So when we've got the paradiddle down, the next stage is just to go through the same process but using some of the variations. And there's a variation, number 2 variation, I think, is right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, there. So that would sound like this. I'll play it on the hi-hat so it's nice and clean and you can hear it. So 3 E under, 4 E under. Okay, so that's another variation, and then the third variation would be like this. Now you probably noticed what else I'm doing there is I'm showing you another option of development, a way to develop it even further, which is breaking the bass drum away from the 1, 2, 3, 4 and playing the bass drum and the right hand together. Yeah, so it's just another way of developing that rhythm. Start simple, yeah, just start from the beginning. The hands, get the sticking right, just on the snare drum maybe, internalize that, memorize it. It's the only way. It's like learning a new language. You just got to memorize it. There's no other option. And then from that, we can start applying it and voicing it in different ways to make it sound more authentic. Yeah? But when you've got these down, and you can start mixing them up. So you can take 4 groups of semiquavers from one part and put it with another and another. And then all of a sudden we get some really interesting grooves, if you want to call them, or variations. Excuse me. And you can just come up with your own variations to make it sound unique and very personalized to yourself. And you're only limited, as one of my great teachers used to say, you're only limited by your own creativity, by your own imagination, all right? Which is absolutely true. Yeah. So we could do that, and then you can start mixing them up, and we'd go through a series of different variations. So a few variations in there just to show you how we can develop it a bit further. And then the next stage obviously is pushing the tempo, get it more performance-based tempo. But we're heading more in the direction of Dave Garibaldi, Tower of Power sort of style, really advanced coordination, but a lot of fun, So start simple from the beginning, learn your paradiddles, really important, memorize them, and then just have fun trying to do variations around the kit. Really important to count, so you keep an awareness, a reference point, an awareness of where the main beats are. Nothing worse than a drummer playing a fill and coming out on 3.5, thinking that's where 1 is, and the whole band crashes and topples over, So it's important to count and keep a focus of where you are in the time. And listen to some of the great bands. So we're talking about some of the early 70s stuff, Chic, Funkadelic, Sly and the Family Stone, Parliament, The Meters, Earth, Wind and Fire, Tower of Power, Rufus, Shaka Khan, James Brown, who else? Average White Band, all these guys, fantastic, amazing drummers, and everyone is quite unique. It's all sort of funk based, but a very different sound, very different interpretation each drummer, which you need to listen to and try and take on board, try and internalise that. Okay, right, I hope that's been useful. A bit of funk for you, and next lesson we'll do something completely different. So hopefully there's something for complete beginners in there, learning your paradiddles, and the way we voiced it and the coordination we use, something for more advanced players to take on board as well. Hope that's been useful. Stay safe. Bye for now.